Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, exciting video. Joe Burrow before the legend of Joe Burrow. This is 2018 LSU versus Alabama. We're going to see if we can see some potential here to what he went on to become in 2019 and now the number one pick in the NFL draft. I'm fired up for this one. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the QB School. Before we get going into the video, I just want to frame it a little bit. This is a compilation of the highlights, lowlights from this game. If you want to watch the full video, it will be released over on the Patreon community this week, so check that out. I appreciate the support for the channel. Now let's dive into the video. All right, 0-0, first quarter. This is from the stills that I actually used from the middle field open close video, but this is really a combination of poor decision, not being able to recognize the defense, but he is throwing an out into a rolled corner. And you just don't see this at all in 2019 from Joe Burrow. Now, this is absolutely a combination of offensive structure, concept, but he's still back there pulling the trigger. So what I mean by that, what's going on here, is they're coming across, motioning across, and they're going to get what is, in short, open field coverage, but this is a cloud corner or rolled up corner. Now, Alabama's got any different number of ways to play this type of split field coverage. But in short, if you have an out running into a cloud or rolled up corner, it doesn't matter which one of these guys runs it, comes up and runs this speed out with what should be a must outside release clear. First of all, this guy needs to be chugging as fast as he possibly can, clear this thing out the outside shoulder. But you are watching this guy the entire time come across, and this speed out right here, you cannot throw versus cloud coverage. Now, obviously, I'm going to, rip in a little bit to this system, and I know it obviously changed for a handful of reasons. But when you close off a field and say you're not going to release anybody up top and basically just make this a half field read for the quarterback, you're really at a disadvantage. Now, I know they wanted to keep 7 in because they were having protection issues all night, but I'm not sure you solve it by keeping more people in. But again, if we're just going to watch this from Joe Burrow, you cannot throw this ball into that corner coverage, and really fortunate that this isn't a pick six. And you just don't see this at all in 19. There's no good answer. It's 3rd and long. There's nothing that you can say other than you cannot throw this ball. Now, it's not all on the quarterback by any means. And you can see what a different system allowed him to flourish in. But these, to me, are throws that, you absolutely cannot make at the next level. Now, are there some flashes of Joe Burrow 19? Absolutely. Right here, love this deep ball. This thing hits him in the chest. Yes, it's nice coverage. Yes, he's probably grabbing his right arm. But again, just from the quarterback mechanics, they go to close, watch his eyes, look to the right, little play fake. Again, 7 guys protecting, only 3 out, not the 19 LSU Tigers. But the fundamentals, the base here at the back of his drop, love, and then the accuracy is simply remains uncanny. But again, right there, no heel click, perfect ball, maybe a little flat, but it hits him in the legit chest. I don't care if he's holding his arm or not. He can't catch it for him. Again, look at the eyes. Play fake. Not sure why you need to have a play fake to throw a go route, but play fake, eyes to our left, come back, rip that thing to the other side. And I love the fact that it's right down the line of the wide receiver. So if I can pause it here right when he's in the screen. So many throws you see from quarterbacks, and they almost teach it to a certain extent. They're running this straight line vertical. Well, you have this space that's kind of barely on the screen to drop it in, but the best throws are right down the wide receiver's line so he can catch that thing and score. And that's what you see so much from the 19 LSU Tigers. And you see it right here from Joe Burrow. This thing's a dime. Now, whether he can't go out there and make every single play down the field, but he sure felt like they made all the plays in 19. Now, another one that's kind of a head scratcher. This is a little bit more like what I thought they got into this year, getting 5 guys out. This is basically stick spacing. So stick up top, wide receiver, little hitch. Got a bunch of hitches down here. But to me, Joe Burrow panics here a little bit. Now, just talking concept-wise, I don't remember seeing him, versus drop 8. They're only rushing 3 at all, just kind of taking off and running. Now, this isn't a quarterback draw. He might have just seen the parting of the seas there in front of him. but just understanding the concept-wise here, this is what they really did and flourished with, in my opinion, all year in 19. This is some variation of stick, a hitch, and a flat up top. And then we're going to get, I think is like a rolled speed out here. And you can do this any number of different ways at a bunch. Hitch, hitch. And really, you usually read this thing right across the field. What I mean by that is you read that thing right to left the way this thing is set up. So you just go kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is almost like an alert. Like you think you have leverage pre-snap out here with this corner and this kind of rolled speed out. Now right here, I don't think you do. It looks like he might actually peek over here a little bit. But again, you don't see him. I would say this is a borderline panic to me. Just not going through the read, just seeing something taken off. And that's kind of what happens when you play against NFL defensive linemen. And this Alabama front was really good all night, and rightfully so. But again, just the mechanics of playing quarterback here, this is not what he looked like in 19. Now, yes, he take him at his word, he worked really hard for a number of different reasons, but catch, just, the panic takeoff, almost TFL there. So, you just don't see that many, really borderline no negative plays. It was such a magical season in 19 that it's interesting to come back and watch these games from the year before and see some issues. This is a play that LSU just made a living off in 19, what I'm going to call a variation of duo with a glance up top. This is an RPO, third level RPO. So we'll talk about it from the back end too, but so the read here. Now the read here for me is we've got 6 guys blocking, what I'm going to call duo. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's a variation of run to the right. They're going to attack this A gap right in here. Well, they've got 6 guys. LSU has 6 guys blocking, not even counting this wide receiver. We're going to block these 6, and we're going to run in the far A gap. This is the only guy who can be a threat. So when he comes down into the box, you see this throw. It's usually a glance or like a bang post or whatever you want to call it right here. That's the RPO, the third level RPO. This is the third level, the defensive back type in the alley. If he comes down in this alley, he's not accounted for in the run protection, and we need to have an RPO right off of him. And they do a great job all year doing that. Now, for some reason, he decides that he's going to throw the RPO. He's going to throw the pass when it's a give, and it's a simple read. It really is. We can see from the back end that safety is way out in split field, open all day. He tries to bang that thing, and it's a sack. And so for me, it was interesting going back, watching the full game and seeing a handful of these plays sprinkled in because they're non-existent in 19. Like the decision making is pristine. It's great. Now again, just so we're all locked in here on what this run concept is, we're getting a double team right here up to 30. We're getting a double team right here up to 32. This is the guy who, if he comes down into the fit right there, which it looks like he probably should, with how these guys are bossed over. But when he stays back in a half field, that means the corner is the force guy. You can't rip this glance. You just got to eat the run. And sometimes they got you. And this is one of those cases right here. Quick little timeout here. If you dig this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get the notifications when we go live, when we put out new content. I really appreciate the support for the channel. So now we're into the fourth quarter. 6 minutes left. We're down 30. We've got issues here all over the place, but there's still good footage here to see exactly kind of what went wrong in 18 and what went right in 19. And so this is a third down, and we've got the essence of this play is he's really going to come in here right here, this number 3, and work this little whip in and out. You don't know if it's a juke, if he's got options or what, but this is the only place the ball can go, right here. And we'll see it from the back end. And so I've got issues with the scheme here. You're not giving him a little bit more options. Joe Burrow probably could take 3, in my opinion, and put it right here, which I think he would in 19. But then he doesn't, but you still see the flash, the potential. I love the pocket awareness, the ability to make a play. Again, watch when number 3 comes out of it right there. That's where the ball goes. In the NFL, that's open. But he stays alive, and he makes this little flick to Edwards-Helaire, and then we get a little flash of what the Chiefs got going for him here moving forward. This dude is dynamic, punt return right. But again, from the pocket, it's fascinating for me because Burrow was so good in 19 about getting the ball out of his hands, making the right decision, everything clean. You know, for whatever reason, right there to 19 coming out of that thing, that's where the ball goes. That's more than open in the league. He's looking right at him. He doesn't take it. But he still keeps two hands on the ball. It's caving in on him. He's got the awareness, the football IQ, strength, flip it out. I mean, that's badass. That's awesome. So there are these flashes in this game. You know, they're getting smoked 29-0. But he's still out there competing like this. You know, you hear rumors about his competitiveness. You know he's an athlete, great basketball player. You know, the decision-making wasn't quite as clean as it was in 19. But there are still flashes of really some pretty impressive throws. Now, this is another NFL throw for me in a bunch of different ways. This is a seam right down the gut. This throw is made all the time on NFL games. Some form of open, so middle of the field open, match coverage or two-man, whatever you want to call it. Now, I would love to see a better route here from the number 3 receiver. But this ball versus middle field open, this is the area of the field you want to attack. Now, I would love him to come up, threaten him a little, and then burst by him and hit him with speed. This, to me, just looks like he's chilling through the middle of the field. But this is the right read. This is a dime throw. And then we'll talk about the protection on the back end because he gets blasted right here from this linebacker, who this running back just loses his mind and decides to chip instead of block his protection. So first, let's watch that seam right down the middle of the field. Again, it's covered, but it's open. Guy's covering all he's covering is the width of his shoulders. When he's got his back turned, we'll see it from the back end. It's a dime. It's a beautiful throw. It's the right throw. And he gets blasted. Look at the base on Burrow when he gets back to make this throw. All his cleats in the ground. Let it rip. Can't follow through and gets smacked and delivers an absolute seed. Now, hopefully in the league you don't have 30 come, knock your block off here. Again, to me, this is simply a green dog. Right here, he's got this running back man-to-man. When this running back decides he's going to come over here and chip this defensive end because they've been getting killed all day with their defensive line, he's got to realize this guy now inserts into the pressure. So he's not, you got to be really careful in these long yardage situations with this type of chipping because once he gets into the pass pro, he's allowed to insert into the pressure. So come out here and see this, watch this just absolute strike from the back end. There it is. Boom. I mean, you literally could not hand it to him better. I'm going to slow this thing down to make sure you understand how perfect that throw is. Really, really impressive. Number 1 overall impressive. 3rd and 12. Again, game's out of line, but these are passing situations. He's going to throw this little comeback off a little motion. Look at the mechanics in the pocket. 2 hands on the ball. Enough arm strength to make this type of throw. Look when he lets this thing go. I'll stop it. He lets this thing go right there. This comeback down at the bottom of the screen. He's not out of it yet. This is anticipation. This is high-level anticipation because he's coming down out of this thing. He's moving in the pocket. He stepped up and out, and he's still able to have the awareness, the IQ to know where this guy's at, to be able to let this thing go early. This is a really impressive throw. And it's a strike. And it's not like a check down throw. That's a comeback. That thing is nice. We'll watch it from the back end here. Again, love the pocket mechanics, the fundamentals, 2 hands on the ball, up, dip, get out of it, and throw an anticipation comeback. Pretty sweet. Really nice. Then the last one here, 2nd and 10. It's going to be a little hole shot down here to the bottom of the screen. I love this type of throw. Again, now he doesn't make the same mistake. This is a cloud corner. Rolled up to that speed out, he hits the hole shot. Now, it's a lot easier to the boundary or to the short side of the field. But again, what's going on here? We're getting middle field open. He's going to run over here. We've got a cloud corner, meaning he is rolled up. We've got a speed out, the same as the first play on this video, and a must outside release go. Now, once you see this corner, these guys are coached up. Looking through number 2 right here. Number 2 runs a speed out. He's going to clamp down on this thing, go make a big hit or a pick 6, and we're going to hit a hole shot right behind him. This is a difficult throw, difficult read, anytime in anyone's career. I don't care what the score is. He makes it look easy. He gets it up and down before the guy is even collisioned by the safety. Now, the safety's coming from the middle of the field, but this is elite accuracy, timing, vision. Really nice. All right, that's a wrap. Joe Burrow, 2018 versus Alabama. Highlights, lowlights. You want to watch the full video, get over to the Patreon community this week. Other than that, I think it was a nice kind of snapshot about the growth and trajectory that he was on, as far as there were some really magical throws in 18, no doubt about it, versus a really good defense when he was getting blasted in the pocket and showed his toughness, grit, kind of what he was working against with some of those passing concepts, to the growth in 19 with spreading people out, making quick decisions, still delivering the ball so accurately, so consistently. But the decision making for me is the thing that really kind of popped off the video, where there were some blurry or muddy throws, decisions that he made in 18 that were nowhere in 19. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate it. See you next time.